Introduction: Escaping the Grind and Reclaiming Life. In a world consumed by busyness, it often feels as though the daily grind has become an inescapable way of life. The endless cycle of meetings, deadlines, and demands leaves little room for joy, rest, or meaningful connection. Work spills over into evenings and weekends, and the quest for productivity consumes our waking hours. But what if this relentless busyness isn't just unavoidable? It's a trap we've been conditioned to accept. Brigid Schulte, in this book, challenges this narrative, offering a bold vision for reclaiming our time and reimagining what it means to live well. Schulte invites readers to examine the cultural, societal, and personal forces that glorify busyness and equate overwork with success. Drawing from her own struggles as a working mother, as well as extensive research and interviews with experts in productivity, psychology, and work culture, she uncovers the deep-seated habits and assumptions that keep us tethered to an exhausting way of life. These forces not only diminish our well-being but also hinder creativity, relationships, and our ability to contribute meaningfully to the world. This book is a roadmap for transformation. Schulte provides practical strategies for managing time, setting boundaries, and rediscovering what truly matters. She challenges readers to reimagine their relationship with work and embrace a life that prioritizes purpose, connection, and balance. It's a call to question the status quo, break free from the hustle mentality, and design a life where work supports, rather than consumes, our sense of self. For those who have ever felt trapped in the grind, overwhelmed by the demands of modern life, or disconnected from their own happiness, Overwork offers a much-needed perspective. Schulte reminds us that while time may be finite, the way we spend it is a choice, one that can shape not only our own lives but also the culture we leave behind. Prepare to confront the myths of busyness, redefine productivity, and embark on a journey toward a more intentional and fulfilling life. Overwork is not just a book, it's a manifesto for those who dare to dream of a better way. The path to a transformed daily grind starts here. Chapter 1: The Culture of Overwork. Modern life is dominated by a pervasive culture of overwork, a relentless focus on productivity, achievement, and busyness that leaves little room for rest, reflection, or connection. This chapter examines how this culture emerged, why it persists, and how it affects individuals and society as a whole. The historical roots of overwork. The obsession with work is not new. Its roots trace back to the Industrial Revolution, when time became a commodity and productivity was tied directly to economic output. This mindset was further entrenched by the rise of capitalism, which equated long hours with moral virtue and personal success. Over time, the idea that hard work equals worthiness became deeply embedded in cultural norms. Key historical factors: industrialization, standardized schedules, and the pursuit of efficiency created the 9-to-5 workday. Capitalism's influence, economic systems rewarded those who worked harder and longer, often at the expense of personal well-being. The Protestant work ethic, a belief system that glorified labor as a moral obligation. Brigid Schulte highlights how these historical forces continue to shape modern attitudes toward work, despite significant changes in technology and society. The modern workplace, always on. Advances in technology promise to reduce workloads and create more leisure time, but in reality, they have blurred the boundaries between work and personal life. Email, smartphones, and remote work have made it possible, and often expected, for employees to be available 24/7. This always-on culture perpetuates the cycle of overwork, making it harder for people to unplug and recharge. Characteristics of the modern workplace. Constant connectivity. Workers feel pressure to respond to emails and messages at all hours. Productivity obsession. Success is measured by output rather than creativity or well-being. Lack of boundaries. Work intrudes into evenings, weekends, and even vacations. Schulte notes that this relentless pace not only exhausts workers but also diminishes productivity in the long run. The personal toll of overwork. The physical, emotional, and psychological effects of overwork are profound. Chronic stress, burnout, and deteriorating mental health are common consequences of a lifestyle that prioritizes work above all else. Relationships and personal growth often suffer, as time for family, hobbies, and rest is sacrificed in the name of professional success. Impact on individuals. Health risks. Overwork is linked to heart disease, depression, and anxiety. Strained relationships. Long hours leave little time for family or social connections. Loss of purpose. Many workers feel unfulfilled, questioning the meaning of their efforts. Schulte argues that this is not just a personal issue but a societal one, as overwork undermines collective well-being. The myth of busyness. One of the most insidious aspects of the culture of overwork is the glorification of busyness. Being busy is often seen as a badge of honor, a sign of importance and productivity. However, this mindset overlooks the value of rest, reflection, and intentional living. Why busyness persists. Social validation. Busy people are perceived as successful and hardworking. Fear of missing out. Workers push themselves to stay competitive in fast-paced industries. Cultural reinforcement. Media and society celebrate hustle culture and constant activity. Schulte challenges readers to question whether busyness truly equates to value or whether it's a distraction from what really matters. Key takeaway. The culture of overwork is deeply ingrained, but it is not inevitable. By understanding its historical roots, recognizing its modern manifestations, and confronting the myths that sustain it, individuals can begin to challenge the status quo. Chapter 2. The Invisible Forces Driving Overwork. The culture of overwork doesn't thrive by accident. It is sustained by a complex interplay of societal expectations, workplace norms, and internalized beliefs. This chapter unpacks these invisible forces, revealing how they shape our behaviors and perpetuate the grind. Society's role in glorifying overwork. Society often celebrates overwork as a hallmark of success. Media, social norms, and cultural narratives reinforce the idea that busyness and exhaustion are prerequisites for achievement. This glorification of hustle culture not only normalizes overwork but also stigmatizes rest, making it feel indulgent or unproductive. Cultural reinforcements. Media portrayal. Successful individuals are often depicted as tireless, overcommitted, and constantly busy. Social comparison. People feel pressure to keep up with peers who flaunt their workload as a badge of honor. Moral judgment. Rest and leisure are sometimes viewed as laziness, particularly in highly competitive environments. Brigid Schulte highlights how these societal forces create a relentless cycle of striving, leaving individuals feeling trapped in a constant race to prove their worth. Workplace norms that perpetuate the grind. Modern workplaces are structured in ways that incentivize overwork. Long hours, constant availability, and productivity metrics are often rewarded, while efforts to maintain balance or set boundaries are penalized, either explicitly or subtly. Many employees feel they must overextend themselves to gain recognition or simply to keep their jobs. Examples of toxic workplace norms. Presenteeism. Employees are judged by the hours they spend at work rather than the quality of their contributions. Rewarding overachievers. Workers who sacrifice personal time are often praised or promoted. Unclear expectations. Lack of boundaries makes it difficult for employees to know when they can disconnect. Schulte underscores that these norms aren't just harmful, they're counterproductive, as overworked employees are less creative, less engaged, and more likely to burn out. Internalized beliefs about work and identity. Beyond societal and workplace pressures, many people internalize beliefs that tie their self-worth to their productivity. This mindset, often cultivated from a young age, leads individuals to overvalue work at the expense of their well-being and personal relationships. Common internalized beliefs. I am what I do, equating identity with job title or achievements. Fear of failure, overworking as a way to avoid perceived inadequacy. Guilt about rest, viewing downtime as a sign of weakness or irresponsibility. Schulte explains that dismantling these beliefs requires deep self-reflection and a willingness to redefine success and self-worth. Gendered expectations and the second shift. For women, the culture of overwork is compounded by societal expectations around caregiving and domestic labor. Many women face the second shift, where they are expected to excel professionally while also managing household responsibilities, often without adequate support or recognition. Challenges for women. Unequal division of labor. Women disproportionately shoulder caregiving and household tasks. Workplace biases. Gendered stereotypes pressure women to prove their dedication in ways men are not. Double standards. Women are judged harshly for prioritizing family or personal time over work. Schulte highlights how these gendered expectations exacerbate burnout and calls for systemic changes to address these inequities. Economic inequalities and overwork. Economic pressures also drive overwork, particularly for those in low-paying jobs. Many workers must take on multiple jobs or excessive hours just to make ends meet, creating a cycle of exhaustion that leaves little time for rest or personal fulfillment. Economic drivers of overwork. Wage stagnation. Many jobs fail to provide a living wage, forcing employees to work longer hours. Gig economy. The rise of freelance and contract work blurs boundaries between work and personal time. Job insecurity. Fear of losing employment pushes workers to overperform. Schulte argues that addressing overwork requires acknowledging these systemic issues and advocating for fair labor practices and protections. Key takeaway. The culture of overwork is sustained by powerful societal, workplace, and internal forces that shape how we think about work and success. Understanding these forces is the first step toward breaking free from their grip. Chapter 3. The High Cost of Overwork. Overwork isn't just an individual issue, it carries profound consequences for our health, relationships, productivity, and society. Let's examine the hidden costs of an overwork culture, revealing the toll it takes on every aspect of our lives and highlighting the urgency of breaking free from this unsustainable cycle. The physical and mental health toll. Chronic overwork has devastating effects on both physical and mental well-being. The stress of long hours, constant connectivity, and lack of rest triggers a cascade of health issues, ranging from minor ailments to life-threatening conditions. Health consequences of overwork. Physical health, increased risk of heart disease, obesity, hypertension, and weakened immune function. Mental health, higher rates of anxiety, depression, and burnout. Sleep deprivation, disrupted sleep patterns impair cognitive function, memory, and emotional regulation. Brigid Schulte highlights that overwork creates a vicious cycle. Poor health reduces productivity, leading to even greater stress and longer hours in an attempt to keep up. The strain on relationships. Time spent overworking often comes at the expense of relationships with family, friends, and partners. When work dominates life, the time and energy needed to nurture meaningful connections are diminished, leading to feelings of isolation and disconnection. Impact on relationships. Family dynamics, missed milestones, limited quality time, and emotional unavailability can strain familial bonds. Friendships, a lack of social interaction weakens friendships and leads to loneliness. Romantic partnerships, overwork can create tension, miscommunication, and resentment between partners. Schulte emphasizes that relationships are not simply casualties of overwork, they are vital sources of support and fulfillment that must be prioritized to counterbalance its effects. Diminished productivity and creativity. Ironically, the culture of overwork often undermines the very productivity it seeks to achieve. Exhausted workers are less efficient, less innovative, and more prone to errors. Research consistently shows that long hours do not correlate with higher output. In fact, they often lead to diminishing returns. How overwork reduces productivity. Cognitive fatigue. Prolonged work hours impair decision-making and problem-solving abilities. Creativity loss. Stress and exhaustion stifle the creative thinking needed for innovation. Burnout. Overextended workers are more likely to disengage, leading to absenteeism and high turnover rates. Schulte calls for a shift in perspective. Sustainable productivity comes from working smarter, not harder. The broader societal impact. The consequences of overwork extend beyond individuals and into society at large. Overwork contributes to systemic inequities, economic inefficiencies, and cultural stagnation, ultimately hindering progress and well-being on a collective scale. Societal costs of overwork. Economic inefficiency. Burnout and poor health among workers lead to increased healthcare costs and decreased economic output. Inequality. The burdens of overwork disproportionately affect marginalized groups, exacerbating social disparities. Cultural loss. A culture that glorifies work often neglects arts, leisure, and community engagement, diminishing overall quality of life. Schulte argues that rethinking the culture of overwork is not just an individual necessity, it is a societal imperative. The hidden costs of success. For many, overwork is driven by a desire to achieve success, recognition, or security. However, the relentless pursuit of these goals often leads to hollow victories, as the sacrifices required to achieve them leave individuals feeling unfulfilled. What success often costs. Health. The physical toll of long hours can shorten lifespans and reduce quality of life. Happiness. Burnout and exhaustion leave little room for joy or satisfaction. Purpose. Overemphasis on work can disconnect individuals from what truly matters, such as relationships, passions, and personal growth. Schulte invites readers to redefine success in terms that prioritize well-being and balance over external achievements. Key takeaway. The culture of overwork exacts a heavy price, not only on individuals but also on relationships, organizations, and society as a whole. By understanding these costs, we can begin to see overwork for what it truly is, a flawed system that undermines the very goals it claims to support. This chapter lays bare the urgency of breaking free from the grind, paving the way for readers to explore solutions that promote health, connection, and sustainable success. Chapter 4. Rethinking Success and Redefining Priorities. At the heart of the culture of overwork lies a deeply ingrained misconception about success. Transforming the daily grind in the quest for a better life challenges readers to question conventional definitions of success, reframe their goals, and realign their priorities in pursuit of a more meaningful and balanced life. The problem with traditional success. For generations, success has been narrowly defined by metrics such as wealth, status, and professional achievements. While these goals can be fulfilling, the singular pursuit of them often comes at the expense of health, relationships, and personal happiness. The pressure to have it all fuels the cycle of overwork and leaves many feeling empty even after achieving their goals. Limitations of traditional success. External validation. Success is often measured by how others perceive you, rather than how you feel. Imbalanced priorities. Focus on career advancement frequently sidelines personal growth and well-being. Unsustainable goals. Constantly striving for more leads to burnout, dissatisfaction, and a lack of fulfillment. Brigid Schulte argues that these definitions of success are outdated and incompatible with the complexities of modern life. Defining success on your own terms. Breaking free from the culture of overwork requires redefining what success means to you personally. This involves reflecting on your values, identifying what truly matters, and letting go of societal expectations that no longer serve you. Steps to redefine success. 1. Clarify your values. Determine what brings you joy, purpose, and a sense of accomplishment. 2. Set holistic goals. Include priorities such as health, relationships, and personal growth alongside professional aspirations. 3. Focus on impact. Shift your definition of success from what you achieve to how your actions benefit others and align with your values. Schulte reminds readers that true success is deeply personal and often unrelated to external markers of achievement. The power of saying no. One of the most effective ways to reclaim your time and energy is learning to say no. Overcommitment is a major driver of overwork, and setting boundaries is essential for maintaining balance and protecting what matters most. Strategies for setting boundaries. Prioritize your time. Evaluate requests based on how they align with your goals and values. Be firm but respectful. Politely decline tasks or responsibilities that detract from your priorities. Practice self-awareness. Recognize when guilt or fear of disappointing others is driving your decisions. Schulte emphasizes that saying no is not a weakness but a strength that allows you to focus on what truly matters. Reprioritizing time for what matters. Time is finite, and how we choose to spend it reflects our priorities. Reclaiming time for family, hobbies, rest, and personal growth is a critical step toward escaping the grind and finding fulfillment. How to reprioritize time. Create a values-driven schedule. Allocate time for activities that align with your values and bring you joy. Eliminate time wasters. Identify and cut back on activities that drain your energy without adding value. Protect downtime. Schedule regular periods of rest and relaxation to recharge your mind and body. Schulte highlights that intentional time management is not about productivity, it's about living a life that feels rich and meaningful. Challenging the hustle mentality. The hustle mentality, which glorifies constant activity and overachievement, is deeply embedded in modern culture. Challenging this mindset requires reframing rest and balance as essential components of success, rather than indulgences or weaknesses. Reframing rest. Rest as productivity. Research shows that rest enhances creativity, focus, and decision-making. Rest as self-care. Downtime is essential for maintaining physical and mental health. Rest as a right. Everyone deserves time to relax, recharge, and connect with loved ones. Schulte encourages readers to embrace the idea that rest is not a luxury but a necessity for sustainable success. Key takeaway. Success isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters. By redefining success on your own terms, setting boundaries, and reprioritizing your time, you can break free from the cycle of overwork and create a life that feels balanced, fulfilling, and true to your values. This chapter invites you to challenge societal expectations and embrace a more intentional, purpose-driven approach to living. Chapter 5. Practical Strategies for Transforming the Grind. Breaking free from the culture of overwork requires more than introspection, it demands practical, actionable changes. Chapter 5 offers a toolbox of strategies to help readers reclaim their time, set boundaries, and redesign their daily lives to align with their values and priorities. Time management with purpose. Time is the most valuable resource we have, yet it's often spent on activities that don't align with our values or goals. Effective time management isn't about cramming more tasks into your day but ensuring that your time is used intentionally. Steps to manage time effectively. Audit your time. Track how you currently spend your hours to identify patterns and time wasters. Prioritize what matters. Focus on high-impact activities that align with your goals and values. Use time blocking. Schedule specific blocks for work, rest, and personal pursuits to create a balanced routine. Brigid Schulte emphasizes that purposeful time management creates space for what truly matters while reducing the stress of overcommitment. Setting and enforcing boundaries. Establishing boundaries is essential for preventing work from encroaching on personal time. Clear boundaries not only protect your well-being but also signal to others that your time and priorities are important. How to set boundaries. Define non-negotiables. Identify what you need to protect. For example, family dinners, exercise, downtime. Communicate clearly. Let colleagues, friends, and family know your availability and limits. Hold firm. Politely but consistently reinforce your boundaries when they are tested. Schulte reminds readers that boundaries are an act of self-respect and an essential tool for escaping the grind. The art of delegation and collaboration. One of the key drivers of overwork is the belief that you have to do everything yourself. Learning to delegate and collaborate effectively can lighten your load and improve outcomes by leveraging the strengths of others. Delegation tips. Identify tasks to delegate. Focus on responsibilities that others can handle as well as, or better than, you. Trust your team. Empower others by giving them the autonomy to take ownership of their work. Communicate expectations. Clearly outline what's needed and provide guidance where necessary. Schulte argues that delegation is not a sign of weakness but a smart strategy for achieving balance and fostering teamwork. Redesigning workplaces for balance. While individuals can make personal changes, workplaces also need to adapt to support healthier work-life integration. Advocating for systemic changes in your organization can create a more sustainable environment for everyone. Workplace reforms to consider. Flexible schedules. Allow employees to work in ways that fit their unique needs and rhythms. Respect for boundaries. Foster a culture where disconnecting from work is encouraged. Focus on outcomes. Shift from measuring success by hours worked to results achieved. Schulte highlights the importance of collective action, noting that meaningful change often starts with individuals advocating for better practices. Cultivating rest and renewal. Rest is not a luxury, it's an essential component of a fulfilling and productive life. Incorporating regular rest and renewal into your routine helps prevent burnout, improves creativity, and enhances overall well-being. Ways to incorporate rest. Schedule downtime. Treat rest as a priority by setting aside time for it in your calendar. Unplug regularly. Disconnect from technology to recharge your mind and body. Engage in restorative activities, pursue hobbies, exercise, or meditation to refresh your energy. Schulte encourages readers to view rest as a non-negotiable part of their lives, rather than something to be earned or justified. Embracing the power of reflection. Reflection is a powerful tool for ensuring that the changes you make are aligned with your values and goals. Regularly evaluating your progress helps you stay on track and make adjustments as needed. Reflection practices. Journaling. Write about your successes, challenges, and lessons learned. Self-check-ins. Ask yourself if your actions align with your priorities and values. Celebrate wins. Acknowledge and reward yourself for making progress toward balance and fulfillment. Schulte emphasizes that transformation is a journey, not a destination, and reflection keeps you moving in the right direction. Key takeaway. Transforming the grind is both possible and practical. By managing time purposefully, setting boundaries, delegating effectively, advocating for workplace reform, prioritizing rest, and engaging in reflection, you can create a life that balances work with well-being. Chapter 6. Sustaining Change and Building a Better Life. Making changes to escape the culture of overwork is a significant first step, but sustaining those changes is where the real transformation occurs. This last section focuses on how to maintain balance, embrace adaptability, and cultivate a life that reflects your values and priorities over the long term. Creating systems for balance. Lasting change requires more than good intentions, it demands systems and habits that reinforce your new way of living. By embedding balance into your daily routines and decision-making processes, you can ensure that the progress you've made becomes a permanent part of your life. Steps to create sustainable systems. Automate decisions. Reduce decision fatigue by setting default rules, such as no work emails after 7 p.m. or reserving Sundays for family. Build routines. Establish morning, evening, and weekly rituals that support your goals for rest, productivity, and connection. Plan proactively. Schedule regular check-ins to adjust your priorities and ensure your time aligns with your values. Brigid Schulte emphasizes that systems are not about rigidity but about creating a foundation for a balanced, fulfilling life. Embracing flexibility and adaptability. Life is dynamic, and even the best-laid plans can be disrupted. The key to sustaining balance is adaptability, being able to adjust your habits and systems when circumstances change, without losing sight of your core values. How to stay adaptable. Expect change. Accept that periods of imbalance may occur and view them as opportunities to recalibrate. Stay rooted in values. Use your core principles as a compass when navigating new challenges. Be kind to yourself. Recognize that perfection isn't the goal. Progress and persistence are what matter. Schulte reminds readers that resilience comes not from avoiding disruption but from learning to navigate it with grace and clarity. Fostering a supportive environment. Sustaining change is easier when you have the support of others. Surrounding yourself with people who share or respect your priorities creates an environment where balance and intentionally can thrive. Building a supportive network. Seek like-minded individuals. Connect with people who value rest, balance, and meaningful living. Communicate your goals. Let friends, family, and colleagues know about the changes you're making and how they can support you. Model good behavior. Demonstrate the benefits of balance and inspire others to follow suit. Schulte highlights that collective change begins with individual transformation, and a supportive community can amplify that impact. Redefining productivity and success. To sustain a life free from overwork, it's essential to continually challenge cultural narratives that equate worth with busyness. Redefining what productivity and success mean to you ensures that your efforts remain aligned with your values. Strategies to redefine productivity. Measure outcomes, not hours. Focus on the quality of your contributions, not the quantity of your time. Celebrate rest as progress. Acknowledge the role of downtime in fostering creativity and resilience. Value presence over output. prioritize being fully present in your activities, whether at work or in your personal life. Schulte urges readers to remember that true success is about living a life that feels rich, purposeful, and aligned with what matters most. The ripple effect of personal change. The changes you make in your own life can have a profound impact on others. By modeling balance and intentionally, you challenge the culture of overwork and contribute to a broader shift toward healthier norms in workplaces and communities. How personal change influences others. Inspiring transformation. Your example can motivate friends, colleagues, and family members to reconsider their own habits, advocating for systemic reform. As more individuals embrace balance, organizations and institutions are compelled to adopt supportive policies, creating a legacy. Your actions set the stage for future generations to value rest, connection, and purpose over busyness. Schulte reminds readers that their journey is not just personal, it's part of a larger movement to reshape how we work and live. A life that reflects your values. Ultimately, sustaining change is about living a life that feels true to who you are. When your actions consistently reflect your values, priorities, and goals, you create a sense of fulfillment and peace that transcends the grind. Living a values-driven life. Revisit your priorities regularly. Ensure your choices continue to align with what matters most to you. Celebrate your progress. Acknowledge the ways your life has improved as a result of your efforts. Commit to continuous growth. Recognize that the journey toward balance and fulfillment is ongoing. Schulte concludes that a life free from overwork is not one of absence or limitation, it is one of abundance, where time, energy, and purpose are directed toward what truly matters. Key takeaway. Sustaining change requires intentionality, adaptability, and the support of others. By creating systems for balance, redefining productivity, and staying true to your values, you can maintain the progress you've made and continue building a life of purpose and fulfillment. Conclusion. Breaking free and moving forward. The culture of overwork may be pervasive, but it is not unchangeable. Throughout this book, Brigid Schulte has shown that by understanding the forces that drive overwork, redefining success, and embracing intentional strategies, we can reclaim our time, energy, and purpose. The journey to a better life begins with small, meaningful steps, but its impact can transform individuals, relationships, and entire communities. Escaping the grind requires a commitment to challenging deeply ingrained norms. It means rejecting the myth that busyness equals worth and instead prioritizing rest, relationships, and personal growth. It's about redefining productivity as not just what you achieve, but how you contribute to a meaningful and balanced life. And it's about recognizing that success is not measured by external accolades but by the alignment between your values and how you live each day. This transformation is not easy. It demands courage to say no, resilience to navigate setbacks, and intentionally to sustain progress. But the rewards, better health, stronger relationships, greater creativity, and a sense of peace, are worth the effort. By breaking free from the relentless cycle of overwork, you create space for joy, connection, and purpose, both for yourself and those around you. As you move forward, remember that this is an ongoing journey, not a destination. The choices you make each day shape your reality and have the power to inspire change in others. By living a life that reflects your values and priorities, you contribute to a broader movement toward a healthier, more compassionate world. Brigid Schulte leaves us with this challenge: dare to imagine a life beyond the grind. Take the tools and insights from this book and apply them to your unique circumstances. The time to transform your daily grind into a better life isn't someday, it's now. Thank you for listening. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel.